Let's go and have a look at that, because there was a few notable faces at Stanford Bridge on the weekend. I'm just trying to get it up. Just give me. Here we go. So All Things Tottenham tweeted this out yesterday, and look who was at Stanford Bridge yesterday. Don Fabio Pratichi. Can't see it on the screen. I could just see the woman that he's with, but there he is.
This was Fabio's Coldplay moment, because you saw he didn't seem happy about being caught on TV.
Oh really?
He saw he got caught on TV and he ducked out of the way. He moved out of the way of the TV. So I don't think he wanted to be seen,
but
which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah, Paul O'Keefe mentioned that Fabio is still in a consulting role. He hasn't been officially employed back by the club yet. But is there any coincidence that Spurs are advancing on Eze and Fabio is there watching Crystal Palace play? Do you think it's a coincidence, or do you think there's more at play here?
No, it's definitely not a coincidence. He's clearly there for Eze. Maybe he's watching him, or maybe he's going to talk to whoever he is after the game. Obviously, we're hearing there's talks going on between Levy and Paris today, but no way in hell is a coincidence that Fabio was at the game yesterday with all the talk about Eze, and as well the fact that he saw himself on TV, then he moved back. He didn't want to be on camera. There was something fishy going on there. I don't think he wanted to be seen. So, I mean, he was seen. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, no chance in hell was that a coincidence. He was there in a Tottenham capacity. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, so this was Eze all on his own in front of the Crystal Palace fans, giving them a clap, touching the badge, all this kind of stuff, literally all on his own on the pitch while he was walking off. That did seem very ominous, did seem very much like a goodbye.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was during the game. After the game, it seemed even more like a goodbye, which we'll see in a minute. But yeah, it definitely seemed like he was going over. And
this was at the sub.
This was when he got subbed off, I think. Yeah, this isn't at the end of the game.
But even so, even the sub looked like a goodbye.
Yeah, he walked off very slowly. Maybe he's wasting time, I don't know. But can we see anything more there? But after the game, it definitely seemed quite poignant, I would say.
This was Eze looking very emotional on the sidelines there on the subs bench at Crystal Palace.
Look of a guy who could have played his last game for a team he loved.
100%. And Bobby Manzi, who's a Crystal Palace reporter, said that Eze shares a moment on his own with the Palace support after most of the players had left the pitch. And if you scroll up to the next tweet, this is the moment that he's talking about.
Yeah, so this is a moment where it seemed like
all on his own, clapping the fans. Look, there are other players there kind of standing on their own as well, but there's just something different about the Eze one.
Yeah,
sounds like he's standing there soaking it all in.
That looks like a good. I mean, that does look like a goodbye to me. Also, I just liked another tweet which we'll look at in a sec, but because I think this is very telling. This one, where there's a couple of couple of pictures they captured yesterday, but definitely he's clearly taken a moment with the fans, isn't he? So that to me looks like at least he feels like this could easily be his last game.
Yeah,
100%.
I think so. And Ollie Glasner had some interesting words to say about Eberechi yesterday, and he says he will come tomorrow to Crystal Palace training ground. Tuesday's off. We take Wednesday, and I expect him to be back playing for us against Fredrikstad on Thursday.
Yeah, but that's got to be the public stance, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does got to be the public stance, but the way that Glasner's speaking about it, post-match, pre-match, whatever, anything he says about it, he does seem a bit bitter about the prospect of losing his star, which I'm not...
Wouldn't you be, yeah?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I'm not surprised, though, because since he's gone there, first summer loses Elise, second summer loses Eze, and Palace have always been, like, they have kind of been able to keep on to their stars in the past, like Zaha, they just refused to let him leave, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now they've got a really good side. It seems as though, they're getting picked off.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the beast when you're Palace. When you do that well, your best players are going to be pinched by the big boys. That's the reality, unfortunately for them. I think they know that. I think a lot of Palace fans have come to terms with that. But, especially when you've got. Imagine they still had that front line of if they still had Olise with there as well, and they have Eze. I mean, that front two could be those two could be playing for most top 6 teams. So if you're a Palace fan, you're looking for your team to progress and looking, you're just got in Europe, you won the FA Cup, you want to kick on from that. So the thought of then losing Eze and maybe losing Guehi as well, it's got to be tough to take, and because you want to see your team progress, right? If we're the same, when we were losing our best players, it's different now because we're able to hang on to them. But when we were losing, we were also very frustrated, and it was really hard to take. And it holds you back, and it makes, unless you use money really wisely, and it's really tough to do that. It holds you back. And if you're a Palace fan, how do you expect any other scenario but losing Eze holding you back another year or two? Well, even if Bilal is good, is he going to be as good as Eze? And is he going to be as good as Eze straight away? All that kind of stuff. It's got to be frustrating. And if you're Glasner, it must feel like the better you do, the harder it is to build a team.
Absolutely. And I think many other teams do feel like that in the Premier League. However, I do think it hurts right now, but there will be life for Palace after Eze. Like there was life for Palace after Olise. It took them a while to recover from it, but they still ended up having a very good season, winning the FA Cup, winning the Community Shield. So Palace's recruitment is very good. It's extremely good. So there will be life after Eze for them, won't there?
No, of course. But also there's going to be life after. Of course, Palace aren't going to just fold as a football club, but it's going to be tough to replace him. And are they going to be as good without him? Probably not. Are they going to be, they probably had ambitions after winning the FA Cup and the way they ended the season. Can we challenge for Europe next year? They would have been hoped for that. Can they do that now without Eze? Your chances are that wouldn't, that changes your expectations now.
Yeah, look, that's true, but it would have been the same when they lost Michael Olise. But they've gone on and been better without him.
But that's true. But it took him time to do, do that, isn't it?
But they've ended up with an FA Cup, a Community Shield in Europe. They never had that whilst Michael Olise was at the club.
I guess they still had Eze at that point. Yeah. But now they don't have either.
Yeah. So look, they're still going to progress as a football club, is what I'm saying. Like Glaston's a very good manager. They've got very good recruitment. Look, this ain't about Palace. There's no point talking.
I don't know. There's no guarantee they progress.
I think they will. It's never just one player that's just going to hold the entire club back, especially if you've got good recruitment.
I know, but you look at Wolves. They're clearly going to struggle to replace Gunnar and Aït-Nouri and these kind of players. But
they're losing 2 of their stars in one summer. Elise's gone, and they replaced him with Sarr, and Sarr, he's come in and done very well. Not on the same level of play as Olise, of course not, but he's come in and he's done a job, and he's got better and better throughout the season. And Eze, Bilal can easily come in. Maybe it'll be a struggle at first. He's not going to be as good as Eze, but they're going to need to find ways to caveat the Eze loss, and I'm sure they will. And the last one Sim just liked was from the BBC Sport right at the top.
Yeah.
And
so
this is,
one,
was this a goodbye? Eberechi Eze shows his appreciation to Palace at full time. So that was the clip that we just showed you, just with a few stills. And that's definitely a goodbye.
That looks like, that's not like a typical thing you do after a game, especially when you've drawn 0-0, got a good result away at Chelsea. He doesn't look like he's delighted. You just got a great result on opening day, and you think he'd be excited, he'd be happy, but he looks like a guy who's just got a secret, or he's got something he's not revealing, and clearly his body language is revealing it for him, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, that is Eberechi Eze from yesterday. Make of it what you will, but for me it does very much look like a goodbye. But you let us know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on it.